Hey YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger. So, as we all know, there are way too many guitar pedals and guitar effects and probably plugins. There's too much guitar stuff. Uh, there's also too many guitar pedal channels. And today I was watching some stuff. This one particular channel, I can't stand this guy, and it's not Glenn Fricker. Although I will say, those people that are in Glenn Fricker's comment section who act like he walks on water, that worship everything he says, those are the type of guys that they bought some rack mount Digitech thing in 1988. They traded their original germanium fuzz face that their uncle gave them. They traded that in at Guitar Center, and they gave them $50 for the germanium, and then they bought this some kind of Digitech rack mount thing that you had to menu dive on it. And they didn't learn their lesson that time. Maybe later on they moved into an apartment with their girlfriend and they needed something for headphone practice, so they got a Digitech RP90, which that's the device that it's got a ton of sounds in it, but not one of them is really that good. They're all mediocre and some of them are bad. So depending on how you combine this stuff, it goes from kind of milk toast, passable to bad. And these are the guys that said never again to digital, and these are the guys that are going on and on about the tube amp and the analog and the tape, even though they don't own any of that stuff. And they've never recorded, they've never played in a band. These guys are just jokers who play in their bedrooms, who act like they're better than the next guy. And if they did do anything, it would be a Kiss slash Judas Priest, some kind of Queens of the Vengeance or whatever, just like the worst. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyway, those people in Glenn Fricker's comment section are worshiping him because, and they don't realize one thing, that Glenn Fricker, the food that he puts into his mouth comes from you paying him money to mic an amp. So, do you think that Glenn Fricker is going to come out and say this little $50 device is going to enable you to get passable recording tones at home? It's just not going to happen. And the people that are in Glenn Fricker's comment section worshiping him, these are the guys that they'd never read a manual. They can't figure out how to use software because their computer's infected with porn viruses, and they want somebody to do that for them. You know, and he's real clever, shitting on bass players all the time because he's marketing to guitar players. He knows that bass players, they're not going to spend that kind of money because they're not it. Bass players typically, you know, a lot of them just have a cable. They don't even bother with effects. But there's another channel. There's some Swedish guy that I noticed. I watched a 15-minute video. Not Ola. This is a younger kid, and he's got weird-looking white studio monitors behind him. And wears a hat. And I watched a 14-minute video, and he had like 18 guitars. And where do these people get the money for? Because I know people like Andy. I love Pete Thorne, by the way. A lot of the professional people that do this where the companies are paying them, and this is more like a commercial, not just giving them the pedal, but paying them to. Those are great, you know. But then there's some of these jokers, you know. There's guys that have their specialties, you know, and I can't really say anything about them. They're not great guitar players, just like me. I'm not anything special. I'm a terrible guitar player. If you put me up against anybody else, how they can just run all over the fretboard. But what I can do is write. I can write and I can produce. I can record fairly well and quickly. So we all have our strong points and kind of different things where we shine. Some people are good with effects and sounds and putting like adding sound effects and sculpting something that would be more boring and making it really exciting through the use of sounds rather than pretending they're Yngwie Malmsteen and going up and down the fretboard at 180 miles an hour. Because to me, faster isn't better guitar playing. It just isn't. I do like guitar trickery. Masterful guys like Ballou who can do tricks or play out of the box. Rob Fetters is a perfect example. I know I always bring these guys up, but playing through a backwards box is another thing that not enough people do. Anyway, I'm watching this demo today. It's 3 pedals. It's this guy who claims he's a surf guitar player. He did 3 fuzz pedals. One was a 1-knob fuzz, $50. That was a $100 octave fuzz. It sounded terrible on its own. You had to have the other 1-knob fuzz before it. And then he had a dirt box that had like 5 knobs that he claimed it was a preamp. Anyway, these pedals were really nothing special, and the demo went from bad to worse. The last pedal that he did, it had a character knob, and when he turned it up, it completely cut all the mid-range out of it. And he said, yeah, when you turn that knob up, it has a mid-peak, a strong mid-peak. So I don't know. This guy doesn't even understand basic guitar terminology. But that same guy, he threw so much praise on this little company. He's like, why not order all 3 and save on shipping? And like I would go and see what Joyo, like what $30 thing I can get to do that. One of those the little ones they sell now that are like $30 and they're great. Rather than a boutique, like if I'm gonna boutique it and it's an 11 parts count circuit, I might want to just build it myself. It's going to cost me like $30 to build. So yeah, he kept laughing and going, I'm really having a lot of fun. Isn't this video fun? Like, these are not the droids you're looking for, kids. Anyway, I saw that guy do another video where this is where they all go to they go with that Henning guy to Germany, and there's some really horrific content that comes out when they do those powwows, when they're all running around doing ecstasy in the parking lot. Anyway, might be the worst pedal demo I've ever seen in my life. It's that same guy with the huge orange beard, and they give him the Amplitude X box. They've got 4 modeling pedals that are like more affordable Strymons. Like a Strymon is like $749. These are $299. They got a dirt box, they got a modulation, they got a delay, and a reverb. And the back panel, it's got 2 full-size midis. There's a cab sim out expression pedal. It's like really covers its bases, and the sound is excellent. It's Amplitude. This is for people that don't want to deal with an interface for a laptop or a computer, but they want to use the Amplitude sounds. And any one of these 4 things could go on your board and do all kinds of different jobs, or you could just get all 4 and stick with that. And maybe you would be lacking a really great fuzz, but you could probably just figure it out and program it. Look at the manual, use the software that comes with it, and figure out, because what's inside of these things is like a metric megaton of sound effects. It's so much stuff inside the Amplitude. Anyway, this guy he's filming. He's complaining because there was too many metalheads at the music get together, and he was the only guy that all he plays is Miseraloo. So he's got this. It's got a Bigsby. It's got mini humbuckers. It's some kind of, I don't know what it is, weird guitar, and he's gonna demo the Amplitude Xbox Reverb. And he goes, "You guys know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna go right to drip." So he's on a preset called Dark Hall, and he can't figure out anything on this pedal. He's just shitting the bed. He's turning this extreme knob up, and I mean, it sounds terrible. It's like literally, if I was Amplitude, I would have taken this guy to court. He's making stink. He's going like looking at the pedal like it farted before he even powered it up, because it's digital. This is a guy that does all these videos with his Affordaboard, where he buys those little $15 pedals and puts them on his Affordaboard, you know. So this Joker, I watched that video. You should look it up and watch it. It's the Amplitude Xbox Reverb, and I don't know what this guy's called. He looks like a bird. He's got an orange beard, comes down to his knees. Anyway, I watched another demo video after that, and the name of the guy that did the demo is Chords of Orion. That guy, if you're not subscribed to his channel, you should be. That guy knows what he's doing. He's a straight shooter. He doesn't bullshit. Watch his Ibanez, the review of the Ibanez he just bought, where they sold him the tone knob was jiggling around. This is QC nowadays. If you buy a guitar off the internet, expect to pay at least $200 to get it set up, or do it yourself. But Chords of Orion does a demo for this thing, and it sounds fantastic. The shimmer reverb, it was the only time I ever heard a shimmer reverb where I didn't think it sounded did like really ridiculous, like a digital pitch shifter, like too much of that icy sound. This one was really pleasant, and all of the sounds that he coaxed out of the Amplitude X reverb unit were pleasant, and they sounded like what I think what a Strymon sounds like it was doing magic tricks with the sound. Just beautiful magic tricks. It's a single pedal. It's $299. It comes with the software, and that's like, you should be jumping up and down for joy that they make this product, that you don't have to go and spend $800 for a Strymon. So my point is this: if you're gonna base what you purchase on watching YouTube videos, don't base it off one video. You need to watch all of them. You need to read all the comment section, because there is just so much. Like I said, the guy was given the thing to stink eye before he even tried it. And I saw another video where they were in Germany, where that beard guy and his buddy that had a beard that looked just like him sat on a couch, and these other two freaky looking dudes from England were playing the X pedals, and they would go, "What did you think of that?" And the beard guy would go, and just thumb down every single thing. Was, the highest it got was like this. And I'm telling you, if you go at one of these things and just start spinning knobs on it, it's not going to sound good. Like, how Amplitude could have said, "We want you to check this out." They were, rather than like, "Hey, we're going to give you this, but it's a bit of a deep dive, so play with it for 2 weeks, and then do it." Don't, if you're not willing to, put in 15 minutes, half hour a day on this thing for a couple weeks and read the manual, we don't want you doing the demo. So again, my point, there's good and bad in everything, but in the pedal community, good pedal demo people are few and far between. And I just wish it didn't bother me that much, when we have like people in the community like JHS who have become like he's such a legend now because of what he did, and there is so much lack of information and lack of confidence in people thinking that this stuff is more than what it really is. I think there's a lot of young people that don't really understand it, and you'll see that reflected in the comments section. So it is what it is. We as a community put too much emphasis on gear. More emphasis should be placed on just songwriting, I think, or practicing. If you can't write, you only can copy people's music. So we'll learn to copy some more music, you know. And that's just my personal opinion. I'm sure you have yours. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Take care of yourselves, hug your pets, and peace.